and he could be defensive on the other parts. And his defensive stuff needed work, but he put in a lot of work on it and then just let his striking do the rest of the work for him. So he was able to thread this very particular needle where he had much better striking than everyone. But Izzy doesn't have the offensive wrestling to take him down, so now he has to fight him on striking terms. And he was able to do that for a long period of time, but given enough time, all the stories end the same way, right? They all end with Pereira getting his hand raised, winning by knockout with enough time. With enough time. So in other words, Pereira did to Izzy what Izzy did to the rest of that division. That advantage that he held in the way in which he did no longer applied in this particular case. Not enough anyway. Not enough of it. And so he lost. Yeah, this is breaking news. We'll probably have more to say about this on Morning Combat tomorrow. Rest in peace to Rumble Johnson. If you guys didn't know, if this is the first...
See, like, how many minutes on? 18 minutes on? After Adesanya, Pereira, breakdown or whatever, recap. Like, this shit is crazy, man. The MMA community is unempathetic, it seems like. Or maybe it's not the fans, more so like these broadcasters, outlets, you know? They go by algorithm, man. They go by whatever gets them clicks, man. I guess Anthony Rumble Johnson's passing isn't click-worthy enough, you know? Isn't trending as much as Izzy getting beat. Priorities, you know what I mean? Swag points, all these dudes. Like, if I had my watch on, I would do this. You know? The all Izzy check of the clock. It's not even a check of the clock, it's like a showing off of his watch. It's crazy, man, you know? Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, I felt like Rumble Johnson is close enough to this generation to maybe, you know, like, feel his passing, you know. But, like, you get all these Hindi scammer accounts, RIP posting, you know what I mean? Last tragic video of Rumble Johnson predicting his own death. We get this type of shit, you know. I guess Ariel Helwani, like, he had like, I don't know, man. I don't feel any of these tributes, you know. Is this my tribute to the guy? Complaining about these other dudes not really, you know, getting in their fields enough for my liking. Like, these MMA legends, man, they don't get their due from their own community. They're always complaining, like, MMA fighters not getting paid and trying to compare to other combat sports and shit. But at the end of the day, bro, the community, it's very wrestling-esque, I'd say. Or even wrestling, they're more diehard, you know? We got wrestling fans crying for their heroes, you know what I mean? I understand, like, that the content creators, they want to go by whatever gets them clicks, man. It's understandable, you know, it's a business to them. If these are your representatives, man, like, you like all these dudes, like, even like the small creator channels, like MMA Guru. I'm not saying he's a small channel, but I'm saying, like, in perspective to, like, legitimate outlets, you know, sponsored and everything, you know, like, maybe you got a TV network behind you, whatever is going on, you know, like, below the belt style. Like, a guy like MMA Guru or Jack Slack, like, these type of channels, like, good MMA channels, you know, fans like to brush up on. They don't mention that shit. I don't know, man. I give Guru a pass. He seems like a young fella, you know. Maybe the prospect of discussing death on his channel is not like, I don't know, man. I want to give a guy like that a pass, you know. These MMA content creators, man. And if they have like any thoughts, man, it's gonna be very surfacey. Even Helvani's little tribute, it was like it didn't. I don't know. He puts like emphasis on pauses to put weight behind it and like, in a sense, you know, trying to display his sorrow or the gravity of the moment by using like journalistic tactics, the way they deliver, like John Lennon died at this and this point today, you know, a news anchor, how he would deliver this shit. Seems just rehearsed, disingenuous, I don't know, not really, you know, inauthentic. But Rumble, yeah, like I'm not gonna pretend like I guess I'm a surfacey MMA fan myself, so like me, I couldn't give a good tribute, you know what I mean? And I'm wondering, was Rumble maybe not personable enough to make a connection, you know what I mean? For the shit to really like hit home. Seems like more people were talking about this guy Ilya Theodorou. Or Elias Theodorou. When he passed, you know? And he was like a Ultimate Fighter maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he got a lot of interest or more interest. But that's crazy, bro. Rumble. Like besides knocking people out, like even Helvani talking about the guy, right? He was so talented. He looked like Superman, he had punching power. No depth. That was hard for my mouth. Anyway, yeah. It was definitely lacking, it seemed like. Like we didn't know much about the guy, it seems like, you know? There's a video of the guy like visiting a fan with, I believe, a skin disease, like a young kid. And Rumble making this kid's day, and it seems the way, I don't know, like I'm attributing this video to the Hindi scam channel, so I don't know. Maybe there was being melodramatic music played behind that shit. So I don't know, man. Maybe that shit was 2 years ago and we don't know, right? And they say like the day before he passed, he visited a ill kid. Kids Ellen. Anyway, man, that's what we get from this here, right? Like my sense of Rumble, like he was kind of mysterious to me, you know? He was one of the guys actually that I always wondered, like, behind the friendly facade, maybe there's like a dark side to him. That was the sense I got, like a guy that's conflicted. The way he was talking about getting hurt in his last fight, like he got dropped in that Bellator fight. Maybe he was sensing some vulnerability, some fragility, right? Like maybe he was feeling some effects of the sickness he was dealing with. And him getting hurt, like he was so emotional about getting dropped after the fight, and actually I believe he stopped the guy or he won a decision, something like that. But he got dropped, right? So he was very distraught over that, it seemed like, in the post-fight press conference. Like he couldn't get hit, that type of thing, right? And I attributed that maybe to just like a fighter's ego, not wanting to be touched, and maybe being too safe, right? Like getting in your fields about getting heard, something that should come with the territory. He seemed spooked by it. I wasn't sure, like maybe I was listening too much Joshua Fabia self-realization talk, right? Maybe he was just in my head and I attributed that to like some type of deficiency in Anthony Rumble Johnson. But maybe he was just kind of, I don't know, maybe he was just raw at that moment. And I don't know, man, what to say about Rumble, man. The way he retired, it seemed weird. He had given in these Cormier fights, and I don't think he made fans with it. But I believe the highlight reel and the potential of knockouts kind of endeared him to fans. So it's kind of like that Mike Tyson thing, right? Like we've seen him give, we've seen him show weakness and shit, but he has the one-hitter quitter, so he has that get out of jail card. So broke him up. He has the opportunity to stage a comeback, man. So there's always potential for an upset, or not even an upset, but like against all odds to land something. So that's a scary, and maybe it's more so about the look, you know. It's like Tyson, that look and that power behind it. Obviously, he can back it up, but it's like Anthony Rumble Johnson would look like the boogeyman if he wasn't such a nice guy. Like the moment you hear him speak, or you heard him speak, it was kind of a different side to the coin, you know. It was kind of a drastic parallel to the look. He sounds more like preppy, you know. He doesn't seem like he comes from a rough area or whatever, you know. You would think he came up well or something. A guy that can punch like that and that looks like scary like that, like a action figure kind of. Like the way Helwani was talking about him, as if it was more like it was more about the beast than the man or something. Like the potential of what he could be, or what we like to imagine him as, you know. We'd like to imagine Anthony Rumble Johnson to one-hitter quitter himself all the way to the